Good.
Welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is May 23rd, 2014. My name is Lynn Marquedant and I'm your host. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everyone. Hopefully, if you're like us here in the Northeast, you have 3 whole days to play and not work. Or for those of you who work on the weekend, hopefully you'll get 3 days sometime soon. So happy Friday, and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today I thought I'd work on some orange. Wanted to mix it up a little bit. My nephew has just recently graduated from Clemson, and I'm taking a bit of a risk talking about it here because I do hope the quilt is a surprise for him. And this morning as I was putting it together, I figured, well, if he sees it, it'll be a hoot anyway, and I was going to have more fun telling you about it, really. And if he sees us, he sees us. He'll still get the end product. So for those of you, oh, and one more thing. Hopefully you're quilting with me, or sewing, or knitting, or rug hooking, whatever you want to do. It's amazing what we can get done in 60 minutes. So that's the whole point of FiberCast. And I will check my email, much like other people do. On the internet, I've got my phone here. Send me email or post on the Google Hangout. My email is L for my first name, Lynn, Marquedant, MARQUEDANT, @gmail.com. And I will show your pictures, send me pictures of what you're working on, and we'll just have a good time. Can you believe it's Memorial Day? I can't. But I'm excited. I have all sorts of plans this weekend, and I'll tell you all about them. But first, I wanted to show you my theme fabric. I got it at Hancock's online, and it is just the Clemson Tiger fabric. Their colors are orange. For any of you who know Clemson or have been there, you know it is a sea of orange. And the complementary colors are purple and white. So what I'm doing is, what I thought I would do, is something pretty simple and pretty straight for my nephew. Tim is his name. And in the back, behind me, you'll see one of the squares that I'm making. And all that is, it couldn't be simpler. I'm starting out with 10-inch squares of the light and dark orange. I'm creating a big 4-patch, and then I'm cutting it down the side and across and resewing it together. So I think a whole bunch of those on one side, and then the whole backing will be this Clemson fabric. And that'll be it. Maybe, I think I'll bind it in purple. So it's not a fancy quilt. It's going to be meant to be washed over and over again and just used on his bed or taken to tailgates, who knows, in years to come. That is quite something to attend those tailgate parties. My husband and I had the opportunity to do it once last year, just last year, with my husband, well, with the whole family. And we had a great time. And I went down with an orange shirt from Arizona, and we came back with 4 Clemson shirts. That tells you how much pride they have down there in their orange shirts. Oh, so what I did is, because this is flannel I have, I got when I went shopping with my friend Jean. Hi Jean, if you're on. And because it's flannel, it has a tendency to walk when you sew it. So I put on my walking foot so I can grab it at both the top and the bottom. And that seems to work really well. In fact, I was reading somewhere that some people are using their walking foot for all piecing. I'd be curious if anyone out there does that. I don't know why you wouldn't, I guess. Other than it just feels a little bit bigger and cumbersome. But it's not like it's using up any more thread or fuel or anything. I don't think. So I literally, just like we've been doing for months now, when we do the webbing, and I bet I didn't do it right. Oh, I didn't. So I meant to. I'm just going to flip this around. I'm just doing great big 4 patches. Oh. So it rained all day here in the Northeast. I don't know what it did where you are. I mentioned Jean. I know Jean is out there because she sent me a picture of what her latest quilt is, and I'll show it to you in 1 minute. Of course, I was jealous because I was working, and I thought, what a perfect day to be quilting. When it's rainy, it's almost as good as when it's snowing. I think this is going to go together quite fast. Which I'm pleased about because I really want to get back to my gray quilt, which I should have the whole front done this weekend if my planting doesn't get in the way. That is my big plant. Well, aside from cleaning the house, which has been ignored for a while, I'm going to plant. I'm still using my Aurifil thread. I love my Aurifil thread. I noticed out at Quilt Mart there, Alex Veronelli or Veroni from Aurifil. He's so funny. He went into all the designers' booths at Quilt Week, and he sat on their laps, and he's been posting pictures. Isn't that funny? I did have to think only an Italian design manufacturer could get away with that. And everyone looked like they were having a ball. Oh, I should just keep going. Well, let me see who's out there on this Friday night before Memorial Day, when we should be thinking of all of the people all of our veterans and our current active military members and former. We're very lucky to have them. Okay. Oh, it looks like some of you are out there. That's wonderful. Oh, let me show you Jean's quilt. So Jean of Cider Mill Quilts. Check out this. Don't know if you can see it. It's tending toward modern now, which we're seeing more of, right? Can you see that? And you probably can't see it, but I think it's Dr. Seuss. Yeah, wherever you go, you will top all the rest. It's Dr. Seuss panels in the middle. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. It says another Dr. Seuss panel. Here's another one. Oh, today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way. That's great, Jean. Send us pictures of more things that you're doing. Let's see who's out there. We've got some new followers, which is wonderful. Welcome, Virginia, Kathy, Karina, Amanda. That's wonderful. Pamela, Kathleen, Agneta. Okay, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Oh, it's so good to see you all out there. And I don't know, you're probably reading these on the screen, but in case you can't, I'm going to read them to you because I just love to read them. Sandra says, I love orange, especially this year, and she says all of her block of the months from the Guild have orange in them, and she will be working on them tonight. Can't wait. Oh, that's great. So you must have posted that earlier. Ah, well, welcome, Sandra. And Joni, oh, I'm so glad we're together and we haven't had technical difficulties on my end. So good that you're out there. She says, I will be working on making a child's book for my grandson's birthday. I'm really looking forward to tonight. Oh, those are wonderful. Fabric books, those are wonderful. My mother and my aunt have made many of those. Deb. Oh, she has had a birthday party. Sorry to miss again. We'll catch up soon. Oh, and she's thinking of me and thinking of us. Well, Deb, when you watch this, if you watch it, know that we missed you. And that's good that you're out at a birthday party. I hope you had fun. Rita, I will be there, she says. The mystery quilt is still on the design wall. Great. Making a few blocks for a signature quilt for a pastor's wife. That's good. It's always good to have more than one project going. Or it always seems to be that way. Speaking of which, I think I mentioned this last week. This summer, this quilt is my last project for a while. For good or bad, you may see repeats of things that I just have to finish up, that I've started, and whether it's, I haven't bound my winter house quilt. I still have to do that. I finished Hitty's bed. Did I show you all that? So I wanted to make sure you saw that she does fit in it. It's a big old bed. She could have company. Anyway, I'm thrilled with that. So that we can call that another project done. And really this summer, I'm going to just work on finishing up some UFOs. So, but it's always good to have multiple things going. And Rita, can't wait to see whatever you make. So send us pictures. It's awesome. Patty! Oh, making hexy flowers and watching my granddaughter. Oh, that's wonderful. Welcome. Karen says she's still sewing the coleus prints. Can't wait for the cast to start. Oh, good. Send us a picture of how far you get. Can't wait to see that. And I know you're busy with Relay for Life. I think it's next weekend. So good job with that. Oh, this is so fun. Another Rita. We have a lot of Ritas. Can't wait for FiberCast, she says. Working on Make It Your Way, a McCall's Quilt Along. Ooh, we need to learn more about this. I'm on lesson 8, pinwheel blocks. Have to make 12 blocks. I make her laugh sometimes. Hopefully that's good. Oh, that's good. Have a good weekend. Thank you. You too. All right. We'll get to some more in just a minute. Welcome, everyone. That is just great. So there's my 1/4 patch. So for the first time in many, many weeks, I guess, other than when we traveled, Bob does not have band tonight. Must be all of the other wives put their foot down and said they wanted their husband home for the long weekend. Probably to rest up to carry mulch tomorrow or something. But that's good. So I invited him to come up and say hi to everyone. We'll see if he does. I don't know. He's a big supporter, but behind the scenes, as you know. This sewing couldn't get any easier. Big old blocks. So, how many of you have planted your garden already? And are you putting in your warm weather crops this weekend? I know that's always what I heard my mother say, and I hear her say. Bridget, if you're out there, I got us a sprinkler. It was on the sale table at Kmart, and it's a 360 sprinkler, so it goes around and around. And like you said, we can set it up and sit there and watch it water our garden. But I'll bring that up tomorrow. If we won't need it, certainly, after all the rain we've had the last 24 hours, but we'll need it. So, our garden continues to grow. Bridget's and mine up the street. We have lettuce up like that, not eating it yet. We have kale that's up like that. I can't wait to have baby kale. I can start to pick it when it gets like that. And the beans are doing well. The peas are doing well. Cucumbers all seem to, well, we got some, but Bridget replanted some too. The raspberries are looking great. I'll be interested to see. We just moved those this year from one part of Penny, whose house it is, her house, to the other side to the garden. And they are flourishing with leaves. And I'm going to be interested to see if we get any fruit this year. I'm suspecting we won't, or if we do, it'll be a little. But I'm interested, for those of you who have raspberries, when you think we might, I mean, do you get them for 1 year and then I don't know enough about them. Does it take a few years to get them mature enough to bear fruit? And I could just read up on it. I know there's something about trimming out old canes or new canes. I'm just dangerous with the amount of information I have about any one thing, that's for sure. Thank goodness for Google. What did we do without it? Oh, Kim, if you're out there, I can remember all those trips to the library. And it wasn't just to hope and pray that the boys showed up and we could flirt with them. We really had to use those Encyclopedia Britannicas and, world books. It really is amazing what we have access to and what everyone else has access to. I know I've talked about it before. I swear the computers that are out there, they know more about us than we might know about us, for good or bad. Lots in the press about that, as you all have seen, I'm sure, and it's going to be interesting to follow. Okay, one more. So it's on wrong. I have to tell you, I found myself thinking about Bonnie's next mystery quilt. I know I haven't even planted my garden, and I'm thinking about her fall quilt. I heard a great quote today, again from my friend Jean. In fact, it's a good reminder for all of us. And it's very simple, and I'm just going to read it to you verbatim. She said, on that quilt that I just showed you, she said, I have made more quilt math mistakes this week than ever before in my life. And then this is what she says. She says, I think I need to slow down and enjoy the ride more. And I think you're right, Gino. We all do. It's just our nature, though, to keep going and doing, and that's good. But my goodness, I need to at least get my peppers in the ground before I'm doing Bonnie's Christmas quilt or whatever she's working on. I think those red 9-patch squares, I was thinking about this last night, I bet that's in the mystery. As I say to my husband, mark my words. Oh, and Cindy, if you're out there, Cindy and I had such a good meeting this week. We met over at Panera Bread, worked so well. I couldn't believe all the people at Panera, students, professionals, mothers. That's a great meeting spot. You know, they have Wi-Fi there, and people were just treating it almost like their own kitchen or their own living room. Anyway, Cindy is really leading the charge on designing our programs for our Marathon Quilters Guild next year. And I'm helping a little bit. And we just hammered it out. We've got some great ideas, I think. And in fact, we've booked a modern quilter to come speak to us on the September meeting. She's published. I've talked about her. Jen Sorensen will be joining us, and she's going to talk about modern traditionalism and how modern quilting is now looking back at the traditional quilting and taking inspiration from that as well. So we're looking forward to that and so much more, including a mystery quilt. Okay, so let me heat up my iron. Okay, while my iron's heating up, let's see who's out there. Okay, let's see. Going back and forth here. Oh, Marquet, hello. How are you? It's been a few weeks, I think. Oh, I will be watching, but not sewing. Okay. We have gone out of town, and we are having company tomorrow, so I'm having to clean the house. Ugh. I feel your pain. Keep on cleaning, girl. I'd rather be sewing, but I will be watching. I have caught up on the other episodes and enjoyed the view of the Grand Canyon. Oh, good. Love the gray quilt, and the tiger quilt sounds like fun, too. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Your friends from Kentucky, Marquet and Cousin Norma. Well, hello, Cousin Norma, too. Happy Memorial Day to you. Enjoy it. And thanks for writing. Rebecca, hi. Hi, Becky. Sorry I'm late. I was finishing up the quilting on a charity quilt. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I saw your post about all of your bobbins today. That was cute. It's so true. In fact, I don't know if I told you, when I brought this Bernina in to be fixed just, what, a month and a half ago, he was very clear. He said I had a Singer bobbin in it. And so he wouldn't even put it back in the machine. He made me use one of my Bernina bobbins. So, welcome. Love to see all your work and your posts. And Joyce! Oh, did everyone see Joyce's quilt that she posted on Simply Colorful on the Facebook page? It is the most fun, scrappy sampler quilt, right, Joyce? Just watching tonight, not working on a quilt. Tomorrow I will start a new one. Thanks for FiberCast. You're welcome, Joyce. I love your quilt. And have fun tomorrow. Darlene. Welcome, Darlene. She says it looks like fun. It is. Oh, I'm not sure that we've had you join us. Or if we have, you might have been out there and I didn't know it. So, Darlene, welcome to FiberCast. Oh, something just came in on my message. Okay, Jean. She says, off for taxi duty, meaning her children. She still has a few children home. But so enjoyed the discussion about the garden. So far, I've been having great success with my new friendship garden and would love everyone's recommendations about their favorite perennials. Oh, this is fun. And Jean, I forgot you were doing that. Jean is planting a perennial garden, and she's asking her friends what their favorite perennials are, and she's putting that in her garden, and it's a friendship garden. So, everyone be thinking about your favorite perennial and why it's your favorite. And I'll be thinking too while I sew this orange. Well, first I have to iron it. Well, certainly this orange reminds me of the tiger lily that blooms in July and I guess August probably. That's not my favorite. What did I say my favorite was? See, now this will be a test because Jean asked me a few weeks ago what my favorite was, and I'm sure I sent her something, but I can't remember which one I said. That's pretty funny. One of the things I have to plant this week that I bought at Kmart also, I have 3 knockout roses to plant down back. KB, you told me about those, and they're a pale pink. I love them. So I guess I definitely like roses. What perennials do you guys like? What fun that you're doing that, Jean. Isn't this funny? So we just made a 4-patch. We're progressing in our quilting, aren't we? That's one of the things about modern quilting that I love the looks of them. It's almost like I can't give myself permission to do simpler things or easier things. But they really can be stunning. Okay, just going to do this. Well, I can tell you a niece actually of ours, speaking of flowers and speaking of perennials that come back, she's doing a science project out in the back here in the woods we have. And she and her father have been coming over for 5 weeks now. And one of the things they're looking at the habitat and making notes about what's changing every week. It's great. She's in high school. It's a great project. In fact, little did I know they have down and over in the knoll of the hill, they have a rain gauge. And if I had known that they'd been doing that, imagine the fun we could have had with them filling up the rain gauge when we had a drought. I don't know. That would have been funny. Anyway, I didn't do it, promise. Didn't interfere. But when they were over last weekend or sometime this week, we went down back and we found lady slippers in bloom. I think they're a little early, but they go really fast, as you know. So we had lady slippers. We found, oh, and Sarah, if you're out there, hi. I took Sarah down to look at them when she came over to visit. Thanks again for your visit, Sarah. That was a wonderful time. Number 2, we saw partridge berry, which my mother taught me looks like winterberry, but is more sprawling. So these are wildflowers. What else did we see? Solomon seal. But I'm really not answering Jean's question. I like white bleeding heart, Jean. I don't think that's what I told you. I do like different lilies. Okay, so I'm going to lift this up. See the quilt behind me? It's an old one. I did that before we moved to this house, so it has to be 10 years. It's one that Christine Myers at Dockside Quilting quilted for me. I did it on my featherweight. One weekend when Bob was away, I almost think, pretty sure, Bob, wow, could it be that long? There was a Woodstock reenactment several years ago, Woodstock, whatever that is, a modern day Woodstock, and he and Mike and a few others took a tent and they went up there to that. And that weekend I stayed home and I made this quilt. And the fabric came, I won it at a raffle at Quilter Stash. Isn't that funny how you remember these different things and they become period pieces? Okay, so we have those 4 are done. Now what I'm going to do, instead of cutting them, I'm going to move on to another piece right now, which is, I wanted to make lots of rows of this. I wanted to sew that together and then do the opposites together, if you can see that. Then I'm going to sew them together, and then I thought they would form, after I put these 5 in the middle, they'll kind of go out like stars on the quilt. That was what I was thinking. The walking foot works great. And I'm sure, just for everyone who may not know, the walking foot, excuse me, has, it clamps the fabric from the top as well as your feed dogs from the bottom, so that more evenly the fabric gets pulled through. If you don't have the walking foot, which also has feet to grab the fabric, what happens is the bottom feet of your sewing machine tend to pull the bottom fabric faster than the top, and it slides and it goes off kilter. So it just, again, it ensures a more even feeding of the fabric. It works pretty well. Doing a little bit bigger than 1/4 of an inch here. Not quite sure why. Oh, and it's barbecue season. Who's having a barbecue? Marquet, I bet you are having a barbecue when your friends come. Maybe. I bet you have good barbecue in your neck of the woods. We are talking about having a, did I tell you this last week? We're going to have a neighborhood yard sale. So June 7th, if you're in the neighborhood, come on by. Of course, I'll be quick to put all of my husband. Oh, I did tell you that because we were chuckling last week. I'll be sure to put my husband's stuff out there. I'm not sure I can part with any fabric. Oh, hello to Peg in Australia. Hi. Received a nice note from Peg, who, as everyone knows in Australia, it's Saturday morning. So she said that she has a lot of things going on. And she's been watching us later. And she's working on some fun things, which she promises to share and post when they're ready. So that was good. Good to hear. Let's see who else is out there. This really is pretty straight sewing. Let's see. Hi, Marquet. She says, loving the orange. Your nephew will love it. Here's a picture of my design wall and what is on it, but thinking of changing the color scheme on it. Oh, wow. I think it is just way too scrappy. It was and still is a beautiful day here today in Kentucky. Happy Mordor. Oh, no. Love this. I'm going to blow it up. I wouldn't change a thing myself. Love it. It's a take on these spider scrappy quilts. I don't know, maybe you did use from Bonnie's website, Bonnie Hunter. I love it. Really do. Just loading another one. Okay, I'm going to come back. It looks like Becca posted some pictures, and for some reason it's taking a while. Patty, welcome. We have a new viewer. And Joni on the perennials question. I like bleeding hearts. The butterflies and hummingbirds love them. And I love your orange colors. Thank you. I did not know the butterflies and hummingbirds loved them. I've put out my hummingbird feeder. Have you been seeing many yet? You must. They like warm weather, right? I can't wait for them to come around. I have not seen one in our yard yet. I saw one that a friend had posted from the other side of our town, and she actually posted a video showing the multiple hummingbirds fighting. You know, they're very territorial. They're for the sugar water. It's like you want to tell them there's plenty of sugar water for you all. Oh, this is wonderful. So glad to see folks out there. Sandra, I'm downloading your block of the month. Ready to sew, and my leader ender block too. Ready, set, go. It's downloading. Something is happening with the download of pictures right now. So we'll just be patient and keep sewing. Sandra, I loved your idea of keeping your date book on your counter and writing down your to-do list. That was a good tip for getting things done. The other thing I thought of that I didn't mention last week when we had that question about how to get so much done is I don't seem to get to my house cleaning as often as I really should. It's really pretty bad. I have to clean my floors. That is on my list. So Marquet, while you're cleaning for your company, send good vibes to all of us who have to do a little bit this weekend. I'm hoping the mosquitoes aren't huge this weekend. They have been huge. Got myself some new Cutter bug spray with lots of DEET. Just huge. Oh, and you know, in all my zealousness to go look at the lady slippers, don't you know I got a tick bite? It's always something. There we go. Okay, we're cranking here. Katie, if you're out there, Katie is Tim's mom for Clemson. Thank you for the sleds. They're wonderful. Funny story, Katie, my sister-in-law, saw her at, we were at a confirmation last weekend. I think I mentioned that last Friday. I had 2 nieces and nephews going through confirmation on Saturday morning. And she was talking about cleaning out her father's home because they're putting it on the market. And she said, you know, there were a few things they were still trying to get rid of. It's a big job, as you know, to clean out a house and get it ready for sale. And she had a lawnmower, a push mower, she said. And of course, my push mower, I think, or I know actually, I bent the axle or the shaft on it, so it makes a clunky noise. And so I need a new push mower, lawnmower. I don't have a very big lawn, and I love to just do it, you know. And, so I said, oh, I'll take it. Do you want me to buy it? I'll buy it from you. She says, no, okay, you can have it. Well, remember, she called it a push mower. So later, after we're eating, I'm sitting with her and her husband, my husband's brother, and he says, the blades are really, really sharp on the push mower. And so that's good. Most lawnmower blades are pretty sharp, but that's interesting you're pointing out that feature. And then it dawned on me. It's a push mower. There's no motor. I told them they could keep it, and they had a good little howl. They thought they had dumped it on me. I've had those. Been there, done that. They apparently, Katie had gone right over to her husband right after she and I talked and said she found a home for the push mower. Anyway, Katie, if you're out there, thank you. That was fun. And instead of the push mower, they dropped off 2 old-fashioned sleds that are going to look so pretty by the side of the house. You know, with the metal runners. Put a big red bow on it for Christmas. So all is good. You're very lucky. Okay. So let me see if the picture's downloaded. Oh, Sandra! So here is one of them. This is the block of the month. I love those colors. And I love that layout. Can you see that? Oh, I like the subtlety of the other oranges. Very fun. She says, here's my block of the month ready. Oh, and and here's the leader, Ender. Awesome. Isn't that good? That's the 9 patch with the half square triangles down the middle. That's great. Hey, and it looks like you have a wireless mouse. Thank you for sharing. How fun. Stannert 49, welcome. Okay, let's see if Becca. Oh, here we go. So Becca Roosh writes, I was about 10 minutes late because I was finishing up the quilting on this quilt. Oh, isn't that pretty? Once again, let the color and the color and the fabric do the work for you. Oh, and I love your quilting. It's so smooth. Oh, good, you showed us the back. I love how you can really see the quilting design of the back of the quilt. This one is for my local chapter of Quilts for Kids. Oh, very nice. That might be hard to see online. It's a nice flowing. Very nice. Oh, Gail Wilson. Remember Gail Wilson from my Hitty Club? You aren't going to believe this. She shipped another kit. It doesn't say what it is. That's always the fun part. So we get to see what arrives in the post office. This subscription better be over soon. Well. Oh, and thank you, Ann Butler and DDR for retweeting. That's awesome. It's been a long time since we've used pieces this big. Hi, Kelsey, if you're out there, thinking of long arming it. And I think I said hi to Chris and Abby. And Judy, happy birthday! A day late. Hope you had a wonderful day. And I hope you have a good plant sale. Speaking of plants. Down at the old mill in West Tisbury is a plant sale tomorrow and Sunday, I believe. And they've been growing the plants all winter long in the greenhouse. Beautiful geraniums. So, pretty simple are these. Just gonna put this out there. There. I have dropped my Sunbeam iron so many times this week. Must be I've had it in a precarious place. And I noticed I broke the back here. Oops. Another plastic piece that came off, but it still is working fine. Another one. So back to those perennials. It all, of course, depends on where people are living. Like in Australia right now, we're going into fall season. So I suspect if it hasn't passed, we're seeing chrysanthemums, we're seeing fall Montauk daisies, grasses might be coming up and looking pretty. Up here, of course, in New England and in Canada, we're certainly just happening into spring. I've had some of my early iris have bloomed and are actually gone by. Of course, daffodils are gone by here. I'm just going to keep going on this. This is great. I'm getting so much done. I do, believe it or not, Karen, who's out there working with the coleus fabric, we used to joke when we were kids about hosta, you know, seeing clumps and clumps and clumps of hosta. And I do love all of the different varieties of hosta that there are out there, from the petite little ones to the great big leaves. They're stunning. And very easy to grow, right? I have this, and then I have 2 more, so I have 3 more of these to do. And then, can you believe it, I will have, I think, most of what I need for the backing. I'll just kind of cut it up again to make those, the X's there. Sew it back up. Very good. We have 2 more. So I guess it'll be a weekend of working on our projects, doing some planting, doing a cookout probably. I have been watching various lists for that camper I talked about last week. I have to do it on the sly. There are very few of the kind that I like out there. And I don't know who it was last weekend who said it's probably because of our age that I like the 1960s Shasta, and I think you're right. there's this whole thing called glamping, glamour camping, right up my alley. And clean up that camper and dress her up. Let's check one more time to see if, make sure we've caught everyone who's out there. So fun. Oh, Peggy! She says, I'm here, first time for so long, loving FiberCast, and I'm quilting with you. Oh, that's good. Oh, do you have Memorial Day there? Or is that just an American holiday? Hopefully you have 3 days off, like us. We're extra specially happy. Oh, so glad you're on. Hello to your family and everyone and your gardens. Patty writes, a quick look at the costume I made for my Prince Fairy granddaughter. Patty from Texas visiting in PA. For some reason it's not downloading, so everyone look at Google and look at Patty's picture, and I will definitely look at it. Thank you, Patty. And you're up in Pennsylvania way. That's where Karen is. Joni, and this one, I think this is our last sign-in for tonight, and then I'll do this, and then we'll call it. Joni says, yes, Lynn, I would get rid of my husband's things first. You just made me chuckle. My sewing things are not old enough to go. Right, and cleaning, what is that? When I'm sewing, my hubby does the grilling, so that's what he will be doing all weekend. You are just too funny. I knew what you were going to say about the push mower. I just started laughing so hard. Happy planting to you this weekend. My plants are just up 1.5 inches. I'm going to wait a week. We just got up into the 70s 3 days in a row. Good call. Well, thank you for everyone for your emails and your comments. Let's do one more strip. And there we go. Well, tonight we have done a lot of orange quilting. I'll make sure to post a picture of my progress from this weekend. Thank you all for joining me. Have a great long weekend, and I'll see you next Friday night on FiberCast. Bye-bye.